Well, hello and welcome to my world, folks. Welcome to Talk to Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host. I'm excited to be here with you today, folks. And let me tell you what, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. You see, our guiding leadership principle is the law of consistency, which says motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you going and growing. So you have to develop the good habits that lead to success. Just showing up is 80% of success. So some people just don't show up. You can beat pretty much anybody out if you just consistently show up. You know, the boss, Bruce Springsteen, once said, a time comes when you need to stop waiting for the man or woman you want to become and start being the man or woman you want to be. So tonight, folks, we have another dynamic leader with us in studio, and I'm excited because this leader is also a hometown girl, Lake Charles, Louisiana, in the house. Let me welcome Miss Kimberly Kennerson-Clayborn.
Hi, guys. Hi, Cedrick. How are you?
I am always doing great, and I'm excited to have you on the show tonight.
And I'm excited to be here.
Well, awesome. Well, folks, you know, every week I like to do a proper introduction of our guests. So let me do a proper introduction of Miss Kimberly Kennerson-Clayborn. She was born in New York City and raised in the great city of Lake Charles, Louisiana. She attended Immaculate Heart Elementary School, St. Louis High School, and she graduated from McNeese State University with a Bachelor of Science degree with a focus on communication. So we're going to be communicating tonight, folks. She is an only child. She has 2 grown children, a bonus daughter, and a bonus grandson. And both of her kids have graduated from college. They also have a chow dog named Midnight, who is her fur baby boy. She has been happily married for 24 years, and they currently reside in Katy, Texas, where they've lived there for 22 years. They attend Fort Bend Church. She is currently a territory sales manager with Hoya Vision, where she brings over 25 years of sales experience. So, folks, we're going to be talking to a sales expert here today. So, welcome again, Kim, to the show. Let's get started.
All right.
All right. So, you know, Kim, I read your bio and talked about you, but you know, our audience normally likes to hear directly from you about your journey to leadership and how did you get to where you are today?
So I would say that anybody that know me know that I just genuinely have a love for people. I don't know if this is a Lake Charles or Louisiana thing, but you know, we never ever meet strangers. And I've always liked to be in a space where I can help somebody, regardless of what that help is. And so I find that being a salesperson really is a way of helping because I support and I bring forth a product or an experience or something that someone would need. And it's always about to help somebody to be just a better version of themselves and to just have a much better, how do I want to say that? Maybe quality of life tomorrow than they did yesterday. And so I've always had, which my friends always say, I guess like the gift for gab, but I don't really like to put it that way because then it sounds like you're just talking about, and you're talking about nothing. I like to add a little, bring a little bit of value to the table. And so I've always had the love, again, to be able to help. And so I knew early on that being in sales is what I wanted to do. So I always try to surround myself with people that love people, with people that with people that offer valuable, um, I like to be around older people. And so here's why I'll say that. They're wise, they've got a lot of wisdom, they've had a lot of trial and error, they've had a lot of fails, and they've had a whole lot of success. So I like to be able to take all that in, to be able to instill some of that, use what I can, apply that where I need to, and then just to be able to share that and be able to give that back as well.
Wow, well that is awesome, and I love that you said, hey, you like to intentionally add value to people. You're not like uh, uh I say having a whole lot of chin music, right?
Yes, yes, that's the word I was looking for, intentional. Yes.
Awesome. Well, adding value to people is something that from Lake Charles, that's just what we like to do, right? So you are from Lake Charles.
Yeah.
And so tell us about your fondest moments growing up in the great city of Lake Charles.
Oh my God, there's so many. Um, Growing up as an only child, I've got my mother was the oldest of 11 and my father was the oldest of 10. And so I had the luxury of growing up across the street from my cousin. There were 7 of them. And then my mother had a lot of sisters that live in Lake Charles. And so I always had my family, and I always had sleepovers, and I just always had everybody there. So growing up as a child, it was fun because it's always been about family. I've always been surrounded about family. I have got amazing friendships from Lake Charles. I've got friends that we go back 45 plus years and we still visit, we still love, we still tolerate each other. And so that's a beautiful thing. So that's come from
Well, how
there.
can you have friends 45 years when you're no older than 30?
Yeah, well, you know what? Thank you for that. But I am proud to say, and again, anybody that know me, this is my birthday month. We celebrate the whole month.
Oh
And
boy.
on October 25th, my born day, cake day, blessed day, I'll be 54 years old. So
Awesome.
but we're gonna flip it. I'll be 34 years. I'll be 45. Anyway, however you flip it. But anyway, so in the beginning years, it was just a lot of fun, right? And then I went to Immaculate Heart, which I'm sad that it's no longer there. Had some amazing years at Immaculate Heart of Mary School. Believe it or not, I ran track. Yep, back in the day, I could run a little bit.
Okay.
I played basketball. That was more of a I want to be on a team thing because I couldn't play basketball at all, but I was on the team. And then I cheered, so that was fun as well. And then I went to St. Louis High School. So while I was at Immaculate Heart, my mother worked at Marion High School. So I spent a lot of time at Marion High School, and that was fun days too. And so then that's where I started my sales career. I was a sales manager. I was a credit manager with Lowe's Home Center for
Okay.
10 years. Loved it. An amazing job, an amazing place to go because, anything that you need, you can find it at Lowe's. And it was just really a great family for me. But that is where I got my start to figure out. And I think that experience, and I'm sorry, I almost forgot. I worked Market Basket on 3rd Avenue
Oh, did you?
for a while in college. I would go to school in my Market Basket uniform and go to class and then come back to work. A combination of those two places helped to mold me into who I am today. I had some really, really, really good managers at both places.
Wow. Well, that is awesome. And I remember you from Immaculate Heart. And you may not remember this, but we were into CCD together,
Uh-huh.
and you were this social butterfly.
So back then I was just jabbering. It wasn't intentional.
So I remember the first time we connected as adults here in Houston a few years ago. You said in your first text to me, you said, "Hey, I don't know if you remember who I am, but I'm like, of course
Yes. Yeah.
So tell our audience something fun or interesting about yourself.
Fun or interesting? I don't know. Fun. So interesting. So social butterfly, love to do things, love to party, cannot dance at all.
What?
I have no rhythm whatsoever, never have. I've tried, I've watched YouTube, I've watched my family. I don't have it in me. I cannot do it. I can't dance, I can't sing, but I am an amazing cook. I
Okay, all
cannot.
right.
Yeah, I just can't.
Yes, and I saw yesterday somebody fried up some chicken, fish, and cabbage and cornbread. I was like,
Yes.
man, she gonna come be on my show tomorrow. I didn't even get a call or nothing.
I'm sorry, and I didn't even have enough left over for lunch today. The kids came over, and everybody want to take a to-go plate with them. You know how that goes.
Exactly. Well, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, don't worry about the dancing part because I'm like that either. Hey, look, I can jam when I'm sitting down. Well, I'm
Uh-huh.
good. But when I put these feet with it, it's over. It's a wrap.
Just don't work. They don't move right. They don't do it. And I can see it, right?
Yeah.
And I want to do it. So I used to watch people swing out in two-step and like Denise and them do they Zydeco. I think it
Yes.
looks amazing.
Yes.
I try that and I'm like, I'm stepping on everybody's foot. I can't do it. Can't do it.
Exactly. I can see it as well. There's a new Indian shuffle for Washington Marion, and there's a YouTube video on it, and it looks nice, and I can envision myself doing it. It just don't work. I don't know, something wrong. God just like passed me right over.
Yes, indeed.
So you had a long corporate career. Help our audience, Kim, understand how flexible you had to be over the years to matriculate your career.
So to understand sales, you would know that a sales job is not a 9 to 5. So you've got family, you've got work, you've got life, and just whatever else. So I take calls Monday through Sunday. Not that I would like to, and it's not even that I mind doing it, because in my mind, if you call me, there must be something you need. And it was important enough for you to make that call, right?
Mhm.
And so in sales, I also think about it's more of a partnership than it is really about me or even really just about you. So in order for that partnership to work, I need to give some of me, but I also will remind you that you need to give some of you. Like it should be, we've got to meet each other in between. We have to, because we've got to both be vested for it to work.
Mhm.
Because if I do all of the giving, where's the respect and the trust going to come from? Like it needs to be on both sides. So I have moved, talking about being flexible. I'll never forget being in Lake Charles. I graduated from Magnes. So I decided that I wanted to move to Houston. And I moved here the first time in 1992. And I took a position with a grocery store as a co-manager. And sometimes you realize things are just not for you.
Mhm.
And as I said earlier, I loved what I had at Lowe's, but I thought I wanted to do something a little bit different and move to the big city. And I moved to Houston. I got an apartment in Houston and I started my job and I didn't like it. And I'm really big on, I've always felt like you should be happy in what you do. When you no longer enjoy it, you're probably not going to be productive and you probably shouldn't be there.
Right.
The icing on the cake for me was I had to, so I'm an early bird. I go to bed early, but I wake up really early. And so I get that learning to be a co-manager, you need to work all shifts, right? So I had to figure out how to go to bed at night and get up at 2:30 in the morning so I could be in the deli and I could make donuts and whatever needed to be done. That was probably a first inclination that I might not like this. And then I unloaded a frozen food truck in 3-inch heels. I like that. I'm just being honest. So okay, I don't like it, but I'm invested, right? I've moved, I have an apartment, and I signed a lease. So remember, I said I loved what I did at Lowe's, right? So now I want to go back. I want to come back to Lake Charles, and I want to come back. Well, Lowe's was like, we fill that position already. But because, and I don't even want to say because they love me, but because they respected me and because I did what I should do, they opened up a brand new store in Leesville, Louisiana.
Oh, wow. For Polk.
So guess what I did? And they needed a credit manager. Baby, I kept that apartment in Houston. I found me an apartment in DeRidder, Louisiana.
Wow.
I moved to DeRidder, Louisiana, and I took that job. And I took that job based on, I'm coming back to Lake Charles at some point, right? Mm-hmm. And I did. So I was able to transfer back to Lake Charles. So I went from Houston to DeRidder and then back to Lake Charles. And so it's been a journey, and I've tried a lot of different things to figure out what does this girl really want to do, right? And so being the credit manager was great. Then I married my husband, who wanted to move to, he said, Kim, let's go where they have a pro football team. I didn't really want to go too far because at the time my father was dying. So we moved to Houston. I transferred with Lowe's. But in Houston, Lowe's was pretty new, and everybody in Houston knew about Home Depot, and that's where they did their business. And so that really wasn't going too well. It was just really, really slow for me, and I'm just not, I need to be busy. Like, I need something to do. So I didn't want to just come to work and like do nothing. Yeah. So I started thinking about, okay, what else can I do? And again, because I never meet a stranger, I met a young man who worked for a locksmith company. He was one of the vendors, and we were just talking. And he said, oh, my wife works at the bank. You should give her a call. I think you would be great at banking. Okay, well, then let me do that. Let me call her. And I did. And so here I go. I go off to banking. So I went to work in the banking industry. There's a lot of mergers that happen there.
Yeah.
I like a little stability. Like, if I'm gonna move, I want it to be because I want to move, not because somebody's buying somebody out and they're gonna change things up and eliminate departments or move them out of town or whatever. So then I got what I would call my dream job. So, and I'll talk about how I got there, because I do believe that things happen for a reason. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we don't see that reason, right?
Right.
So I was at Washington Mutual and I got laid off. First time in my life I'd ever been laid off. That was a little devastating. Mm-hmm. To have that happen and no rhyme or reason and just to not even understand it. I went to real estate school because at the time my mother was living, and she said, Kim, you should go to real estate school. You love to talk. You like to talk to people. I think you would be great at that. Well, I just got laid off. I don't really know what I'm going to do. Okay, I'll go to real estate school. I went. I didn't like it. It just wasn't really me. Mm-hmm. But I met a lady. And we started talking. And after class one day, she came up to me and she said, Kim, have you ever thought about eyewear sales? Said, nope. Didn't even know there was an option. I said, I've never been to a job fair where somebody was set up for luxury eyewear sales. I said, but girl, I would love to do pharmaceuticals. You know anybody can help me? And so what's funny is I gave him my resume. We kept in touch. We talked for like a year. I never heard from anybody. And then one day I got a call from her boss, and he was going to come to Houston and he was going to hold interviews. And I thought, there's no way that I'm going to get that job. Like, they're going to be interviewing opticians and sales reps. And, you know, even though I think everything I'd ever done was sales, but a lot of people look at it as a different kind of sales. And I didn't know how it could apply. In my mind, I know I could do it.
Sure.
But I wasn't really sure if they would think I could. So long story short, I did. I went to that interview, and I was very open and honest, because I'm always pretty transparent, sometimes probably too transparent. But I was very honest about why I wanted it, why I thought I would be a good fit, and what I would do to prove that. And I got that job. And so 15 years later, I am still in that space. I sold luxury eyewear for 8 years, and now I've been on the lens side for the last 7 years, 8 years, one of them, something like that. But anyway, so it's been a journey. It's been a lot of management. It's been a lot of personalities. It's been a lot of travel. I mean, at one time I covered the entire state of Texas. So I was home on the weekends. When I was a frame rep, my husband said, you know what, I'll retire. Like, you go do what you need to do so you don't have to worry about the kids. He was Mr. Mom. I think sometimes my kids' teachers wondered, do these kids even have a mom? I ain't go to any meetings. Like, I mean, I wasn't home to do that. But I'm thankful that he was, and he was, and I was allowed to do what I needed to do to get things done. And so that's
so let me ask you this. How did that, just that part right there, his flexibility to say, hey, I'll be the stay-at-home mom, dad, and you go, and how did that make you feel when your husband, because not a lot of husbands will say that, right?
Not a lot of them will say that. And so I'm thankful that he was in a place where he could, and his career was over. And it was, so I'm glad that he did, because a couple of things, they were able to have their father all the time and grow up with him and have him do everything. I mean, I never missed a game, but anything during the week, I couldn't always make that. But it felt good because I knew it was going to be taken care of, right? It's one thing when you can call him a family member or this or that or whatever. But I also was very blessed because my mom was still living. So my mother was here Monday through Friday. She went home on the weekends. And so I had so much support that I could get it done. So I told him that was really big for him to do that. And he's been rewarded. Both of his kids didn't have to pay for college for neither kid.
Yeah, well, that's a wonderful thing, right?
And he can take all that credit.
So Kimberly mentioned her husband, and you notice the pictures behind her on the wall that says Raymond Clayborn, number 26, right? With New England Patriots. Steelers fan, that's all right. That's all right.
Cedrick's favorite team.
There's one player that I root for New England, and that's your husband.
Yes, indeed.
So, but folks, the bigger story here is that one, her husband flexibility and gave her the ability to advance her career and go out and become a career person. So when and the reason I'm highlighting that, Kim, is because sometimes I will hear from guys that'll say, well, I have to go babysit my kids. And I'm a believer. There's no such thing as babysit your kids.
No, they're your kids.
Exactly. Yes. So guys can do everything that a lady can do in terms of taking care of the kids. It's our responsibility, our obligation, right? So that's the big point that I want to highlight there. So give our audience a list of, I think you kind of did that actually, of different jobs that you did, but Let me change that question a little bit. What do you love the most about sales?
I like the fact that, and so to me, and sales is probably different to everybody. To me, I like the consultative piece, meaning that I want to help you understand why you need what I have to offer, how you're going to benefit from it. But more than that, I like to be in, I look at it as a service industry, because I want to provide a service that I truly believe in, right? And something that's going to make you better, something that's going to add value to your life, no matter what capacity that is. So that whenever it is, whatever I'm offering you, when you take it, use it, and try it, you're going to be better than you were before you did.
Mm. Yeah, I
And I
like that.
believe that.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I always tell people that sales for every organization is really where the money resides, right?
Yeah,
Because without sales, whoo, it's a little bit hard or difficult for organizations to grow, right?
absolutely.
So success means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, right? But for you, how do you define success?
It has changed as I've gotten older. Um, Honestly, I don't know that I truly thought about that question until COVID hit. And here's why. Because before, it's moving and moving and hustling and bustling. You don't have a lot of time to think about stuff, right?
Right.
And I'm always all over the place. But during this time, God was like, sit your butt down. You better be still. And it gives you time to think, right? So
Yeah.
here is what success looks like to me. When I get a phone call and somebody says, thank you. Thank you for doing ABC. You don't know how this has changed my life.
Mm.
Thank you for being who you are. I think that you're amazing. To me, that's what it means. And here's why. I didn't wake up like that. It didn't happen overnight. It's all been earned. I have had my feelings hurt. I have cried. I have laughed. But I also feel like I've made it. I know without a doubt that I'm making a difference.
Mm.
I know that without a doubt that the love, the knowledge that I have and that I choose to share is impactful. To me, if you can take pieces of all of that and put it together, that's what that means for me.
Wow. Wow. I like that. I like that. And it's that feeling of adding value to someone, and you hear from them the impact that it's making, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
And
is.
I'm gonna say one more thing. And I also know better now when something is not good for me, to be able to say no. And it's okay to say no, right?
Yes. Yes.
And to
Say
be
that
able to
again.
say no more. Like, I'm
Yes.
done, like no more. Because it's not just about me, but it's about my family.
Yes.
And if I'm not good, how can I help them to be better?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. And like I said, everybody level defines success totally different for them. But I love that you said, "Hey, look, you have to learn to say no and be comfortable with saying no." And
Yes,
you know, no, folks, could mean no, not right now,
absolutely.
right? Because you're going in a certain place and you got to stay focused on your goals and your dreams and where you're going. Because if not, if you say yes to everybody, then what happens is your dreams become sideline and
Yeah.
you're mainly focused
Yeah.
on everybody else's.
Yeah. And I've done that for a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that anymore.
Absolutely. I absolutely love that. So we have a segment on the show, Kim, that we call Would You Rather? All right. So
Okay.
we're going to play a little round of Would You Rather? All right. So
Okay.
would you rather meet your great grandchildren or your great grandparents?
I would rather meet my great grandchildren.
Grandchildren. Okay.
Yeah.
And audience, you can answer these as well. Just put your answer in the in the chat. So would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
Oh, I want to rewind. I want to go back. I got some stuff I need to redo.
You're gonna go practice dance moves,
I
right?
need to go back. Yeah.
Mama, I need dance lessons.
That and I wouldn't eat so much.
Okay.
I need a rewind. Take me back to pre-kids. Take me back there. Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're from Lake Charles, you have no choice but to eat a lot, right?
Oh my God. Like that's love. Let me feed you, baby. What you want to eat? Get you a plate and eat it all.
Exactly. And especially if you said your mom had 11 and your dad had 10, you know, yeah, you didn't have no choice.
Yeah. We're going to leave it at, we're going to say that. We're going to use that.
So would you rather no one show up at your wedding or no one show up at your funeral?
So I'm going to say no one needs to show up at my funeral. Celebrate me while I'm here.
Okay, I like that. Would you rather go to dinner alone or a concert alone?
I'm going to do the dinner alone. I do that a lot.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now, would you rather go skydiving or bungee jumping?
I'm probably not going to do neither. I'm probably not going to do neither. Like, I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't even get on rides at the carnival.
Well, you got to pick one.
Skydiving or bungee jumping. I mean, something could break on either one. Let me just go ahead on and let me do the bungee jump because normally they have like a net or something at the bottom.
Okay, all right. I see your daughter says she'd rather meet her great grandparents and she'd like to have that pause button. Would you rather be a kid your whole life or an adult your whole life?
Oh, I'm gonna take the kid. They ain't got no worries, no bills, no stress, I can't even say that about the stress because a lot of kids today do. I'm still gonna go with the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people, Kim, they talk about, oh my God, I hated my childhood and I couldn't wait. I absolutely loved my childhood.
Me too. It was amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I could go back to that easily without.
I even look at this wasn't a question, but I even look at midnight sometime, and I'm like, baby, you want to change places? Because he really got it good. Want to talk about having it good? Ooh-wee.
Would you rather
you don't do nothing?
Yeah, exactly. Just lay there. Well, would you rather have free Apple products forever or free Wi-Fi wherever you go?
You know what? Give me the Wi-Fi because half of that stuff Apple have, I don't know how to use it anyway. You see how I was struggling with the volume. Like my phone been doing something since I've been sitting here. All I can do is turn it down. I can't even figure that out.
And I tell you that volume key works.
Just give me the Wi-Fi.
All right. Would you rather own your own private island or your own private jet?
Give me my island.
Island? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Akia said a kid adulting sucks.
My daughter's friend. And in their life, it should be just grand.
All right. So would you rather have free gas for 25 years or have your dream car?
Give me my car. I'm gonna put the gas in it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. You can get the car anytime, but that gas, man.
Yeah. I know.
Couple more. Would you rather be a ninja or a pirate?
Now, a ninja as in a fighting ninja or a ninja turtle?
Well, yeah, not talking about Teenage Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
We're talking about a fighting ninja. You know, the one
I'm
that
gonna be a
throws the
ninja.
star.
I'll be a ninja.
Okay. All right. Teenage Ninja Turtles. Um, last one. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
$1 million in Amazon gift cards
Mm-hmm.
or
Or $100,000 in
$100,000 in
real money.
cash.
100,000 cash, yes.
So it's a lot you can buy on Amazon,
Yes.
but I don't think I can cash in them gift cards. You know what? I'm gonna go with the cash because there's some stuff I like to do that I need the cash for. I'm gonna go with the cash.
See, you can get that $1 million in gift cards, and Sydney and your son or RJ, right? They can, Mom, I need another gift card.
Yeah. See, but now it becomes about them. It's always about them. This is for Mom, so I want the cash.
Okay, all right. See, Sydney, I was trying to help you. Well, thank you for playing that round of Would You Rather.
Absolutely. That was fun.
So, what makes you smile? Because you're always smiling, but what makes you smile when you get up in the morning?
So the first thing that I do is I check my phone. I check my kids' locations. If they are home, then I know that they're safe. I text them every morning. It's family. It's family. It's love. I call. I don't want to call her out, but me and Denise are really close. I call her all the time, but I'm gonna put on warning. Me and Monique really close, and Monique is doing better. Denise gonna have to do better. I like to talk. I like conversations. Like I have my friends. I've got Lula. I've got Tammy. I've got Bonita. I've got people that I talk to all the time. Right? Some call you back. Some don't. Some initiate the call, some don't. They just got to do better. So what makes me smile is that I got up today. And so you know what? I now have an opportunity to do things better today than maybe I did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And whose life can I go out and impact today?
I love that. I love that. That's definitely living an intentional life.
So I'm gonna add two things, and I'm gonna kind of put you out there, but and so I won't say anything that you haven't heard. So I'll say it to your face. I love what you do. So I monitor your page like I do my kids. And then I have another girlfriend who lives in Dallas, and both of you are extremely intentional in what you do and how you impact people's lives. So that gives me so much, I don't know, I can't think of the word I want to use, but it just makes me want to do so much better. Maybe about 2 months ago, I joined a Bible study class that I do every Thursday evening. I am so enjoying that. So I'm trying to do my part to keep my sanity, so that I can keep smiling.
Yeah. Well, keep smiling, because I tell you what, so it's amazing because you say you watch my page. I always watch your pictures, because you're always you'll show these pictures, and you're like, well, like you have some new tennis shoes that you're going to start wearing all the time, right? And I noticed the different colors that you have and all this type of comfort versus heels and
Yep. I'm past that. I'm
yeah.
past that. I went to a wedding Saturday. I put on heels. I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
So off to church I go with my tennis shoes.
Yes. So I watch your page because you're always fun with what you're doing. So and you're always somewhere.
Shh. Yeah, I know.
So what would you say is the best career decision you've ever made?
So you're probably not going to be ready for this, but we're being transparent, right?
Mhm.
So the best career decision that I've ever made was to realize that maybe I'm no longer, see, but I don't want to group it together, so I probably shouldn't say it that way. The best career decision that I've ever made was to know when it's time to share what I still have in me with somebody else,
Mm.
with some other people, with another group. I'll just have to leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
Just to know when it's time. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Kim, and I tell this to our clients, my clients all the time, is that there's a difference between success and significance. And success is adding value to yourself.
Hmm.
Significance is adding value to other people.
Hmm.
And once you've tasted significance, success will never satisfy anymore.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So that's wonderful. You're intentional to live in a significant life.
I'm
Uh,
trying to. I'm dead set on that partnership, and when that partnership breaks, I don't know. It's
yeah,
hard to do it by yourself.
absolutely. Well, you know what it is also. Some of this is now we're both from Lake Charles, so some of this is also instilled in us in Lake Charles. If you think about growing up in your childhood, one of the things you said at the very beginning was you always had family, right? And you guys
Always.
were at each other's house, and it's that give and take with each other, right?
Yes.
And that's really what happens sometimes in our childhood. We have that, and then we go to college and we start worried about building our career, taking ourselves. But that foundation that you were trained on, it comes back to you, and we're at that
It,
time of our life now where
yeah.
that's coming back.
Yeah. It does. I mean, it's so extremely important. And so what I try to make sure is that my kids get the same thing. Like, and I think I do a really good job with my daughter. I not as much with my son, even though I try, because
Hmm.
half the time he don't want to go to this or he don't want to come to this or whatever.
Hmm.
But because a lot of my cousins and I are the same age, their kids are the same age. So they've got the bond now that
You had.
we as parents have. And
Hmm.
so it's just such a beautiful thing. Sydney did an internship for a little while, and she was able to go live in Lake Charles
Okay.
with my aunt for like, I think it was for like the summer, or yeah, for like the summer. That warmed my heart that she went back to where I'm from, lived with my family, because you know what, she was able to do what she needed to do professionally wise, but she was able to get closer to her family too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. So I'm a nostalgic person. So I'll go to Lake Charles sometimes, and I'll just be in a car, and I'll just drive around the city, and I'll drive around all the streets I used to run up and down growing up, and
Uh,
remembering all of those times, and I really appreciate all of those type things. So here's a little secret here. So we bought some property in Texas on the water, and we bought some property in Lake Charles on the water. Right.
okay.
Now we had to decide where we were going to build the forever house. Well, we're building in Texas. Guess who got outvoted?
Okay. You can build that one next.
That's the plan. I mean, no, it's not the plan. Not the plan. Never mind.
It is the plan. Okay.
I've got to
Yeah.
work it slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So, but seriously, family means so much, and in especially in South Louisiana, it really means a
It
lot.
does. I think family means a lot, right? It's everything. Family helps to shape us into who we are.
Yeah.
Then you add friends to that, right? And
Hmm.
so so what I will say is that, I mean, I know a lot of people, right? But I have a core group of friends, and all of my friends are like so different. Like everybody's different and everybody brings something different to the table, but they all help to shape me into who I am.
Hmm.
I mean, I've got some that, what is she?
Yeah.
I've got some
I
that,
see Facebook is finally letting us be great again, right?
yeah.
And so
But anyway, I'm just saying, so I think friendship is major, right?
right.
Especially at our age.
Hmm.
She said, I called too early in the morning. It's because I get up early in the morning. She stays up late at night. But especially at our age, friendship to me is extremely important. And I take my friendships very serious. I can even admit that I'm a little territorial with my friends. They're my friends, right?
Right.
So, but what I try to be fair. I try to include everybody. Um, and just like I'm probably gonna get some grief because of names maybe I didn't mention.
Yeah.
So that's why I really shouldn't did it, because I hate to do that. But there I go running that mouth. But it's still
We'll run a
important.
list of credits at the end of the show and we'll just type in names.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to. But just so the thing about it is that if you know, you know. And don't even require calling out a name. You just know.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Absolutely. So, in the sales industry, especially in the healthcare sales, right? It's a hard to break into.
Yes. Yes.
So what would let's give an audience a couple things that they can do to help themselves break into your industry.
So with my industry, I would just say that do your homework. Find out everything that you can about the industry. You know, there is actually, and I just found this out, you can actually go to school and get a license to be an optician. I don't think that I knew that. I was never an optician though. I came in it more from a sales side, but I think that would help because what I do today is really technical. And so have those conversations. If you go to an optometrist or an ophthalmologist for your eyes, talk to your doctor. I mean, he is the first person that see those reps. He know who they are. He know who the companies are. Don't be afraid to have those conversations. You got to ask questions. You got to talk to people and talk to people that are in that group that are already in that space and just ask them, how do I get there? What do I need to do?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I've
great advice.
never had a problem asking for anything.
At,
You know that.
I tell people in sales all the time, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you ask for.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great advice. So what do you think is the secret behind your success? What's that secret sauce?
So you got to really have, and I would say have really tough skin. And here's what I mean by that. You get no so many times. And to me, no today definitely doesn't mean no tomorrow. But I always say, if somebody tells me no, there's a disconnect somewhere. There is something I did not explain right, or I didn't give enough information.
Hmm.
Because if I did, that answer shouldn't have been no. I also believe that timing is a factor
Yeah.
because it might not be the right time today for what I'm offering, right? That
Hmm.
time will come,
Right.
but you better be there or you better make them remember you for when that time comes. I want them to say, let me give Kimberly a call.
Yeah.
Didn't she just talk to me about this? So I believe that follow up, follow through. I believe in persistence in a nice way. It could be a phone call, a text, an email. There needs to be something you need to leave for somebody to remember you.
Yes. Absolutely. And one, I so heartily, so heavily believe in what you just said, Kim. I didn't start wearing bow ties for this reason, but I kept wearing them for this reason. Every one of my customers would always say, "I'm going to always remember you because you're the only guy that wears bow tie." See, I wanted them to remember
Mm-hmm.
who I was when I was there. Now I'm going to add some value when I'm there as well, right?
Absolutely.
But I wanted to give them something to remember me by
Yeah.
every time. So you've had a lot of success in your career. So what I want us to do right now, Kim, is to help that either an emerging leader or that kid that's getting ready to graduate from college and they're going to, then go out into the working world. Help give them a couple things that they should do once they land their job. They may be their dream job, a high performing job, or whatever. Once they land the job, right? What should they do to keep it then?
So here's a suggestion. This is not something I did, but somebody that I'm very close with that's extremely successful in an industry that I don't even understand. And this is IT. I would say always do what you can to make yourself better. Do that learning on your own. Spend some time first getting to know you, but then perfect that job. I don't care what the job is. I don't care how minimal you think it is, because you got to have an end goal of where you plan to go.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be steps to get there, right?
Yes.
And so learn all you need to know about that job, because that information is something nobody can take from you.
Right.
And it can take you a really long way. And you always want to be a step ahead. You always want to have enough knowledge to get you to the next level. So when that opportunity arises, you're first one on the scene.
Yes.
You want to be able to take advantage of that. So I would just say always, always, always apply. Pick up books to read. Get yourself some books. Read those books. Set some goals for yourself. I've done that part, but I wasn't a really big reader. I didn't really spend a lot of time doing that. I wish I had. And it's not too late because I'm going to do it this time around. But I'm just saying, learn about what you want to do, because your presentation, your skills, and your conversation is only as strong as your knowledge. Yeah. You're not going to talk about what you don't know. Right. You're going to veer away from what you don't know. And my God, please don't let somebody ask me a question about something I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So the knowledge piece is probably the most powerful and the most impactful thing that I could offer. That always stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
Every company has policies, guidelines, and all of that stuff, right? But it still doesn't have to change who you are.
Yes.
Like, I want you to do business with me. And yes, we got to do it by these ways, but you can still put some of you in that.
Yes.
Allow people a chance to get to know you. And I would say demand that respect in a really nice way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree 100% with everything that you just said. One of the things I would also add to that, especially for young Black professionals, a lot of times we will get into a company, we get the job that we want,
mm-hmm.
right? In the company that we want. But when they have a happy hour or a social event, a networking event, I don't want to go be hanging around with those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, here's a challenge. Here's the problem. All the promotions and all the advancements and all of those type things, the relationship building part.
The relationships.
They happen at those times where you say, I'm not going to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then you wonder why someone comes in a company a year or two after you and they get promoted before you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see? So just remember that, young professionals. So, Kim, what would you say is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength is that My mouth. I mean, like it is like I mean it is because what I have decided now though is that I'm gonna make sure that the things that come out of this mouth will be positive
Mm.
and will be impactful because I know people are listening, right? And so I would say that, honestly, she said her mouth, and it is, but I'm always coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
Always. It might not sound like that because I'm pretty direct, but that's my intention.
Yeah. See, so I agree with you and with Denise. I would just say your ability to connect with other people because I see
Yes,
you as a connector.
yes. That sounds
And
better. I couldn't figure out how to put it like that, but yes, yes.
yes,
I love relationships, Cedric. Love them.
yeah, building relationships and connecting with people, and that's how I will always remember you from our CCD days. Is the person who just like she was like friends with everybody, and
Because you know what? I'm going to say this and I'll be done with it. You know what? In those times, you know what I wanted to do in life? I wanted to be an anchor woman. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to force you to listen to me because I had something to say, but it just didn't happen. That was not the direction that I took.
Okay, you want to be on KPLC.
I wanted to be on KPLC before there was a Cynthia. I wanted there to be a Kimberly. Did my intern at Fox, and then anyway, yes, that's what I wanted to do. That's why I was always talking. I was preparing for that.
Okay, I like that. I
Yeah,
like that.
didn't happen.
So, a couple more questions here. Now, so you've had a lot of success, but sometimes we also have failures, right?
Yeah.
So what would you tell us a time that you had one failure and what did you learn from it? What was the failure and what you learned from it?
So I'll say this: the failure that I had was when I moved to Houston in 1992 and took a job with a grocery store coming right out of college. It was all about the money. Okay. Didn't think about what the job was going to entail. Um, that was a problem for like that took a lot of time for me. Like that was a lot of wasted time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a valuable lesson. I knew then that it should never be about the money. It's got to be more to it than just the money.
Right.
Because even for that money at that age in 92, however old I was, I can't even do the math, just graduating from college, I didn't want to do those things that went along with that. So if I had really thought that through, who knows what could have happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't sit here and think about what if I could have, should have, whatever, but I know what I did. And so that caused me to move 3 times in less than a year. That was an expensive lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what I got from that was it can't be about the money and it has to be something that I want to do.
Yes. Oh, folks, I don't know if you know, but Kimberly just dropped a bunch of knowledge on you. It can't just be about the money, and it has to be something that's going to add value to you. You see, because at some point, you may be sitting out there right now saying, oh, no, for me, it's about the money. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're an hourly employee and or you don't have to be hourly, it could be salary. So your employer said, hey, we need you for the next 6 months to work 12-hour days, 7 days a week for the next 6 months. You see, month 1, you might be, well, boom, I'm hourly, so I'm going to be making some big time money, right? But month 2 is going to come and you're going to start saying, it's not about the money. I need some rest. You see,
Yep.
that's how you know it's not about the money all the time, right? And especially if you're salary and you have to do that, and you're not getting any extra, you're gonna start saying, well, "Wait a minute here, they're robbing me now."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You see, it can't always be about the money. You have to have a little bit more about that. Now, now let's not get it crooked now.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, I like the Deion Sanders philosophy. He says, look, I love playing NFL football so much, I'll do it for free as long as everybody else, including the owners, do it for free. He said, but since they're not, pay me my money.
Absolutely. I just think that when your heart is in it, you do a better job. People will get more out of you. And I just think that it's just a better all around for everybody.
Yes, absolutely.
Money helps. Absolutely, though.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Don't want to be in a corporation being a volunteer.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
So last question for you, Kim. And I ask every person this question. If there was a book that was written about you, right, what would the title of the book be? And what would the summary in the back of the book say about you?
So the title would be What Are We Smiling About Today?
What are we
And the
smiling about?
summary would be, I don't know, it would be summarized by, she did all that she could do. She tried.
Okay. All right. I love that title. What are we smiling about today?
What are we smiling about today? Have a purpose, have a reason.
Awesome. 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 Love that. So when's the book coming out?
I don't know, when you're ready to help me write it. Yeah, I got some stuff I can put in there, baby. No.
We're going to put Denise to work.
Yeah. 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 So, yeah.
Well,
So,
wow,
yeah,
folks, we have had a wonderful hour. It's amazing how this time flies by.
It has flown by. I was a little worried. I was like, wait a minute, that's a long time.
Yes. Akia said, this is an amazing conversation. I'm in advertising sales and his message is transferable. Thank you, Cedrick and Kim. No, it's not about Cedrick, really. It's about Kim and what she brought to the conversation. So thank you. So folks, tonight we've been listening to Miss Kimberly Kennerson-Clayborn, and she's a sales pro. What I need you to do, she talked about adding value to other people along the way. What I need you to do, I need you to add value to somebody else by sharing this message, sharing her message, right? So all you have to do is click share. If you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or on YouTube, you can tag someone, right? You might not have needed this message, but you know a friend of a friend of a friend. Denise says she's gonna tell it all.
We gonna block her.
You may know a friend of a friend of a friend that needed this message tonight. They've been struggling trying to get into sales. They've been struggling trying to get their career started. They've been struggling trying to understand what direction they need to go in. Kimberly shared a lot of golden nuggets with you tonight. So I need you to add value to somebody else. See, God put you on this earth to be a vessel for somebody else, right? You gain experience and knowledge, and not just for yourself all the time. Sometimes it's for you to pass that message on to someone else. So I need you to share this message with them. Just hit share or tag them in a message so they can hear it. They'll be able to hear the replay. Some people dream of success, and some people make it happen. Kimberly Kennerson-Clayborn is a person that's made it happen. So thank you again, Kimberly, for being willing to come on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I'm excited.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So folks, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, you know, we will have Talk Leadership with Cedrick. So make sure you tune in. We have a great guest for you. We have another guest on Thursday night as well. So make sure you tune in for Talk Leadership with Cedrick Thursday edition. And then Friday morning, folks, we're going to come with you hard heavy at 8:30 Friday morning for Friday Mental Motivation. You know, I'm going to get you pumped up, motivated, inspired, and excited to end your week out great and start your weekend on a positive note. So make sure you tune in for that we're going to help you go from ordinary to extraordinary, because we know the only difference between ordinary life and an extraordinary life is extra. And trust me, I know the word is extraordinary. I don't like that word. I like extraordinary. The only difference between winning and winning and losing is belief. The only difference between hot water and boiling water is 1 degree. So you know at 211 degrees, water is hot. At 212 degrees, water boils. With boiling water comes steam. With steam, you can power a train. The only difference between a person reaching their full potential and not reaching their full potential is desire. So I hope that you have the desire to go to another level, to live to your fullest, and make sure that you understand that you already have everything that you need to go to another level. You just have to be willing to take action on it. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope to see you again. Share this message with someone else. And as I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you guys, and good night.
Oh my goodness.